Willkommen zu meinem neuen Let's Play Serena. Ich bin Peach Panda und ja, das ist mal ein Horrorspiel, in Anführungszeichen der anderen Art. Das ist eher so eine nacherzählte Geschichte.
Sometimes, when I make a great effort, I can remember her scent, the sweetness of her breath. Serena.
Ich aber nicht viel machen kann, außer ein paar Sachen anzuklicken und halt herauszufinden, wie das Ende der Geschichte ist, beziehungsweise wie das dazwischen ist. Heißt, wie die Geschichte generell ist, weil das Ende kennen wir eigentlich schon. Der Typ sitzt hier allein in einem Zimmer und wartet auf seine Frau, deren Bild er anstarrt. Also, deren gemeinsames Bild er anstarrt. Oh, ein Foto von den beiden.
Serena, why can't I see you more clearly? Why can't I even remember? This was taken on that crisp winter night at our mutual friend's hunting lodge. We came back indoors, laughing, giddy as teenagers. It was truly like an enchanted time, like we were in a magic circle where no sorrow or pain could touch us. My love, we don't have a lot of photos of ourselves as a couple, so this one is quite important. The guy who snapped this, our host that night, used an actual film camera. It was a different world back then. My love, we don't have a lot of photos of ourselves as a couple, so this one is quite important.
Okay, warum hat jetzt die Musik aufgehört?
Serena enjoyed spice in our life. I preferred it more bland. We were so different on some points.
You always put too much salt in, dear. Think about your pressure.
She always worried about my diet. I used to think she did it to annoy me, but now... Yep, guilty as charged. I love salt. It emphasizes the taste a lot, and those crispy snacks.
Chips.
The furniture came with the cabin. Considering how off the beaten path this place is, that helped make up our mind. Sometimes she would brush her leg against mine under the table when we were eating. A curious, sensual thrill. The table is worn but sturdy, just like our relationship was. Or is. I just don't know anymore.
Okay.
Our dining table. Quite modest, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I could tell plenty of stories about this table. To be honest, I'm surprised it's still in one piece. The dining table was well worn even when we acquired the cabin. You could tell from its appearance that it had been the centerpiece of many happy occasions, and there were many more to come. Our dining table. Quite modest, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Okay.
I could tell plenty of stories about this table. To be honest, the guy who snapped this, my love.
Okay, das hatten wir jetzt. Kann man hier auch nach vorne und zurück? Nein, kann man nicht. Ah, also können wir so aufstehen. Okay.
We had such a wonderful time dining in this cabin. Serena loved to experiment with her cooking. Truth be told, not all the cooking she did was a resounding success. We agreed to never attempt doing ravioli again. Sharing meals with a good red wine was one of the great pleasures in our relationship, especially in the intimacy of this cabin. I should probably eat. Can't remember the last time I ate. Yet I don't feel hungry.
You silly dolt. Here, give me that. Don't be such a child.
I have more pressing things on my mind right now than culinary exploits. I think it dates from the colonial era, probably brought over by the Pilgrims. It belongs in a museum.
Oh.
An archaeologist could excavate the layers of food forever welded onto this and learn about the days when other beings ruled the earth. I think it dates from the colonial era, probably brought over by the Pilgrims.
Also ich versuche das immer so also so oft zu klicken, bis nichts Neues mehr kommt, weil das Spiel scheint so zu funktionieren. Ich habe es ja schon mal ganz kurz angespielt, um zu gucken, ob es funktioniert. Also überhaupt sich aufnehmen lässt und so. Und ja, er sagt eine ganze Weile neue Sachen und dann scheint er genug gesagt zu haben. Hier war doch gerade eben so ein... Wo war denn jetzt? Da war doch vorhin was. Ah, da war es gerade. Augustine and Elena came to New York with the dream of blah blah. Chateau Serena, Pinot Noir, the medium color red. Okay.
The dining table was well worn even when we acquired the
Ja.
cabin. You could tell from its appearance that it had been the centerpiece of many happy... We don't have a lot of photos of ourselves as a couple, so this one is quite important.
Soll es so still sein oder? Ich weiß es gerade echt nicht. Guck mal in die Bücher. So you want to be a purple tentacle, a night at the fairy grotto, behind the left-handed architect, the art
So
of
much
growing.
wisdom and happiness in this bookcase. My life would have been much poorer without all this. The smell of old books is intoxicating. What happens to wood pulp as it ages gives it that distinctive vanilla smell.
Vanilla?
I loved it when we took down one of my favorites and curled up on the bed to read together as the wind howled outside on cold winter nights. Most of the books are mine, but all of hers are still here too. A lot of rarities and special editions here. I didn't lend out my Necronomicon, did I? No, of course not.
Necronomicon, happy and life, also fröhliche und lebensbejahende Lektüre.
Most of the books are mine, but all of
Okay.
hers are still here too. So many afternoons spent in this armchair.
Come sit with me. I want to talk. And cuddle.
What did we talk about? Damn this fallible memory of mine. The most comfortable spot in the cabin, well, along with the bed, of course. I can imagine her cuddling up to me even now, putting her hand under my shirt. Of course, we made love here, too.
Ugh.
There was no place in the cabin we didn't before things deteriorated.
Bitte?
The most comfortable spot in the cabin, well, along with the bed, of course.
Deteriorated.
The guy who snapped this, our host that night, used an actual film camera. It was a different world back then.
Deteriorated, das heißt, bevor die Beziehung auseinandergedriftet ist, bevor sie...
This window never got much attention. Then again, the view isn't nearly as spectacular. Priorities, right? I guess it's covered with grease and grime from cooking, mostly. There's probably nothing out there that I want to see, anyway. All the stuff I care about is inside. Well, except for Serena.
Also ist sie doch draußen.
I can make out nothing through this window. There was a time, long ago, that all this disrepair felt oddly homey. All the windows are drafty, but like everything else, we just got used to it. We liked it, even. I can make out nothing through this window.
Okay.
Our dining table. Quite modest, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Ich will mal wieder zu dem Foto sehen, damit
My love.
der auf seine Erinnerungen irgendwie mal besser wird und wieder mal das erkennen können, was eigentlich da drauf ist.
Something draws me to this trunk. Is it the memories locked within? Or something else?
Er muss auch schon älter sein, weil er redet so wie ein alter Mann und die Hand sieht auch ziemlich
We
gebrechlich
use
aus.
this trunk to store trinkets and papers, but I can't help thinking there's something of importance inside. It's too painful. I want to, but not yet. We found this trunk at a flea market. We used to love rummaging around those in our early years. Big enough for a lifetime of mementos. We hated guns, so we never had any, even out here. But this would have been a good place to keep one, since it can be locked. We found this trunk at a flea market.
Okay.
We used to love rummaging around those in our early years. Come, love, with peace in your heart, said Niamh of the ice blue eyes. Blue eyes.
Ah, die erste Erinnerung. Ride with me, shed your mortal guise. Here is our mount, a snow-white mare. Come, Unseren, to my gardens fair. In the land of youth, ply your art. Ours shall be the isle of days. Our sun and sky and rainbow ways.
I could tell plenty of stories about this table. To be honest, I'm surprised it's... We don't have a lot of photos of ourselves as a couple, so this one is quite important.
Ich hätte gerade eine Erinnerung gehabt, vielleicht muss ich darauf weiterklicken.
It's based on an Irish folktale. Warrior poet O'Sheen goes to Tirnanog, a Celtic otherworld known as the Land of Youth and Promise. Niamh is of the Fey folk, the fair ones, fairies. Weird mix of doggerel and artistry. The elemental imagery is evocative, but the language and structure are a bit quaint. Still, some lines jump out at you. I've always been drawn to things that are kind of both good and bad at the same time. Maybe because that's so like life. My grandma introduced me to these old legends when I was just a kid, in between stories of what she could still remember of her childhood in the old country. Weird mix of doggerel and artistry. The elemental imagery is evocative, but the language and structure are a bit quaint. Still, some lines jump out at you.
Hört sich so an, als würde er sich wichtig machen wollen. So nichtssagend. 3 Mädchen... Moment. Wieso sind die angezogen und sie ist nackt? Und ihr Gesicht sieht man überhaupt nicht. Und die eine scheint es zu genießen, aber die anderen beiden nicht.
No, I don't want to leave right now. There's still something for me in here.
True friends stand by each other through any adversity.
I better stay in case Serena comes back.
Ah, also ist sie wirklich draußen.
There's always a chance she might return.
Was heißt she might return? Also ist sie... Hä? Jetzt bin ich verwirrt.
There's nothing for me out there. This door has been creaking for years. One of the many things I promised I would fix. I have this gut feeling that I shouldn't leave just yet. There's nothing for me out there. The dining table was well worn even when we acquired the cabin. You could tell from its appearance that it had been the centerpiece of many happy occasions, and there were many more to come. The guy who snapped this, our host that night, used an actual film camera. Different world back then. She made this with her own hands. She was really good.
Look what I made, hun, in case we ever need to sweep something under the carpet. See the pattern of yellow squares? It's from this rug I remembered from my nursery. I must have been like 3 or 4, but it always stuck with me.
And no trap door under there, just more creaky floor. I always resisted the temptation to sweep things under there when it was my turn to tidy up.
The rug's all crooked again. Can you help me straighten it out?
And no trap door under there, just more creaky floor. It's a beautiful day, though there's an unnatural calm surrounding the area. I've always loved the hazy afternoon shades of this place. It's deep into summer, so there's a few hours left until it gets dark. The sunlight is so bright here. In other circumstances, this would have been the perfect afternoon for us.
Are those... Okay.
There's a crack in this window from a